What's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. I made a trip to Walmart. That's right, because I was asked multiple times about this guy right here, the Mossy Oak Bowie. This is model 196. And let's see, I haven't done anything with it yet. I did take it out already and put it in my hand and thought, I am underimpressed. Yeah, not too impressed with the initial feel. Holy crap. I don't know if you can see this. See how it's so muggy out here. I just pulled it out. It got wet. My glasses fogged up. Everything feels wet, which is bad for this because this steel is unfinished. You see all that right there? It is unfinished, which means this thing, if you don't keep it clean and dry, is going to rust or at least oxidize like crazy. So let's go over what kind of steel we do have. It is 8CR 13 steel. It is full steel construction, and here's the thing I noticed about the full steel construction. I do like that even the guard is part of the blade. It's all one chunk of steel all the way through. What concerns me is that the pommel and the handguard are both apparently glued on. That's what I'm guessing. While the fit and finish is really good as far as, you know, spacing or weird edges or lifted parts, anything like that, that's all good. My concern is, even the pins are pretty smooth. My concern is, how are they going to stay on through abuse? I don't know. That's something we'll have to find out. Now, the overall look from a distance is really nice. When you get up close, this, what do they call it? It is stag finish handle. When stag is followed by any other word than nothing, it's generally fake. So to say stag finish means fake stag. So they could have just put imitation stag, but they try to make it sound a little fancier. We are looking at an 8-inch blade and a 5 1/4-inch stag finish handle. I think that's pretty much it. It does have a 5-year warranty on the sheath and a lifetime warranty on the knife, which is something that might get used because, well, it doesn't look like it's that great a knife. Speaking of not that great a knife, let's go over this sheath. I don't know what that smell is. It says leather, and it looks like leather. I guess there's a hint of leather smell in there, and it's not a bad sheath, but this is zero quality leather, I can tell you that. It's nicer than any leather sheath I've made, so I can't really knock them for it. It does have the double snap, which, if any of you know, I hate. It only needs one. I mean, to put the double snap just means taking out of the belt is going to be that much longer. So any kind of quick release is useless. It is, and I'm not squeezing, a pretty good friction hold on its own. So honestly, if it was dangling from my belt, just holding on against my leg, that's not going anywhere. So I could really go without any straps. But what I'm going to end up doing is just cutting off one, and I'll probably leave the top strap only and get rid of this thing because it is completely not just unnecessary but a nuisance. So that's it for that. Let's go over this guy right here. We do have a clip point. It is swedged. What do we? It just has mossy oak on it. And I mean, it's pretty much what you see is what you get with this thing. The balance would be better if it wasn't for the crazy contouring. You have a nice thick handle here, and then it just boom, boom. It ramps down on both sides, which is just crazy to me. It's crazy because you think, okay, it's nice because you can get an index finger in there, but what that does is gives you a lesser grip at the end of your knife. So when you're doing cuts, it has a chance to wiggle in your hand and sway. This thing is pretty thin. I'm guessing 3.5 millimeters, maybe 4. I don't know. It's pretty thin for a knife this size anyway. But again, I've made some thin knives this size and they work, so I'm not going to overjudge. Now I got lucky. Let me take you with me. I got lucky in one of my trees over there, the crappy ones that are basically just weeds. It split from a storm we had, and I lost a tree branch over here. So I have some stuff to chop that, you know, is good because we like to chop stuff. So what I'm going to do is, I got you on the tripod here. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to set you up so you can see where that tree is split. Let's get rid of some of the stuff that's in the way. Oh man, I really had to put a hack into that to get it to cut. And yeah, there it goes. So initial cutting wasn't great, but let's see how it does on this guy right here. Wow. So it's cutting through without an issue. The contouring and the grip is exactly what I thought it would be. It's how do you say, what's that? Caca. So it's not that great. You're better off to swing it with the OK grip and just let it fall into the hand. Now I was going to do both sides, but this is so unfun to swing. I'm only going to do one. And I mean, does it get the job done? Absolutely. Is it enjoyable to swing? So far, absolutely not. The front, the thin part in the front is really screwing me up here. So let's see here. And the fact that it's the fake antler on the steel, the full steel construction of that fake antler with no liners or anything like that, the shock just runs straight through you. What that tells me is that the blade is probably hardened the same hardness all the way through. You know, normally you'd want the edge really hard, then the middle a little, just a touch softer, and then the spine softer than that. If you want a good example of that, go to any tops knife. That's why you don't strike the spark with their spines, it's because their spine is soft. This does not have any steps in the heat treat. And what the heat treat steps do when you have that nice soft spine is it gives you more flexibility and more, you know, shock control. And you don't feel that as much when you have a knife that's really well done in the heat treat. This one is not. This is definitely not. So it's cutting and hacking. It's doing a fine job. It's just not comfortable. I couldn't even fall asleep on this. Alright, so I'm pretty much through. I just don't want this thing to land on you because that's exactly where it's aiming. It's probably going to snap back at me. Uh-oh. Alright, so I knocked you guys down. Luckily, I didn't damage any of you. Everybody's still okay. Let's get the schmeg off the thing. Or did I crack it? Yeah, I put a little crack in my screen. So, just a little tiny thing, though. A little tiny thing. So it does work. This came down. Again, not great, but it worked. So, let's go do some more with it. Got a little baby, tiny little chip in there. All right, hold on. All right, so we made it to the stump. Let's do a couple of drop tests and see how a 4-foot drop stays. Nice and straight. Balance seems pretty well. Let's do a couple hard downward throws and we'll see how those handle scales stay nice and tight. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's got some good bite. That's a good thing about a swedge tip. You're gonna get good bite. All right, so it's hitting very solid. Nothing is loosening. It's getting through pretty good. All right. So we're prying a little bit with it. Not scared to do that. Let's test the nylon rope here. Let's see what we can get. All right, so there's no push cut. It did cut some, but that's about it. Okay, so after hacking away at a little tree, it does cut nylon rope. that's a positive. Let's see here. The old kitchen prep test. Oh. 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 That wasn't a bad point on the knife. That was just it getting stuck in the wood, so it actually was pretty good. All right. Let's see here. All right, well, it's taking a little while to get started. I just gotta find the right angle, which is really weird normally. And there you go. There you go. All right, well, it's starting to shave. I have to say, when it comes to feather sticking and shaving, while it's working, it's really difficult to get it to find the angle that'll create nice fire, which kind of stinks. It took a little while to find that. It shouldn't be that hard. All right, so let's see here. Let's see here. Couple of little downward slashes. Try to get to a point. Let's see. Now, if you really get on the end of the blade, you can use the choil for this. One thing I'm noticing is that the choil comes right up to the little point of this edge here, and I can definitely feel it on my finger. Definitely feel it. So it's working. It's getting the job done, and I have to say that holding this nice tight upper grip is more comfortable than holding the actual handle. So it's getting there. It's taking a little while. It's not shaving as much off per swipe as I'd like. Some of it is actually just skating. So it's taking a little while, but it's getting there. So I mean, it's okay. Well, that was pretty good. It took a nice little slice out of there. All right, so I think we're gonna have to go and baton with it. So let's take a walk. All right, I took a detour. I got some of this this sycamore that fell, and this is a much harder wood than what we were swinging at. So I just want to take off some of these little branches. Tick. Got it. Oh man, there's ticks all over the place on this guy. Literally ticks just walking across the wood. All right, so let's see. Just so uncomfortable. There we go. There we go. Let's see some of this hard skin. Barely anything. Let me change the angle. Oh man, you got to get a really steep angle. Man, what is this? Oh, you know what? It almost looks like the secondary bevel is a wedge. It's a wedge grind. Let me try this right-handed. It's a little easier to the right hand just because of the wedge. So what that means is normally on a good knife, this is your bevel right here, right? And it comes at one angle like this all the way to the end. Then what they do is they sharpen the actual edge, the cutting edge, right? And what this one does, now most of them, when you sharpen the cutting edge, okay, you have an edge like this. Now you're going to sharpen it both even, so they're at even angles. Oh, he's barking at me. I guess he wants to come out and play. So here is like, it's supposed to be like this. This one is like this. It's at a wedge. So they sharpen one side barely, and then they sharpen the other side more, creating, so they went from an angle like this to an angle like this, angle on the same thing on the other side, but this one's like this, right? So it really helps out one side better than the other, you know what I mean? Instead of being even on both sides. I hate a wedge. I hate it. But that's what they do, so let's keep going. All right, let's do a little batoning. This is going to be pretty easy because this wood's really dry, but we'll see how it does. What I'll do is I'll go cross grain since the wood is dry and it's kind of cheating. We'll see how it goes here. There we go. There we go. All right, so it went down. No problem. Let's see. Going across. You know what? Let's do that. That one split pretty easy. Let's go across this thing. Make it work. Let's make it earn its dollars. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, that did not want to go through there. But it did. It eventually did. Let me see if there's any warping. No, so far it stayed. It held on, but I mean, if that edge was better, it would have went right through, and it just didn't. It was getting hung up. Overall, is it bad? No. Can I use it in the woods? Absolutely. Can I process wood? Absolutely. Can I baton some nice dry wood with it? Absolutely. It's gonna get the job done. Is it gonna chop? Yeah. Is it gonna baton? Yeah. Is it gonna feather stick? Yeah. Is it going to do all the stuff that you'd actually need it to do? Absolutely. Was it $10 at Walmart? Absolutely. Is it worth $10 at Walmart? Absolutely. It's a budget blade, and it has its defaults. It has its areas that it could definitely improve upon, but is it a bad knife? I haven't found anything wrong with it yet, aside from a crappy angle inside the edge and a crappy handle design as far as contouring. They use a decent steel, they just don't do a decent heat treat, and they don't put a good edge on it. But anybody with a belt grinder or a belt sander can easily bring that into a nicer wedge there, and that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to resharpen this myself and give it a better wedge. It's going to be a better knife. So does it work? Yeah. For 10 bucks, does it work? Absolutely, it works for 10 bucks. Let's see. There's that thing I put over there. All right, come on. Come on, everybody. Come on, baby, take a chance with us and meet me on the back of your blue bus, baby. All right, so let's see, I have so much stuff in the way here. I want to make sure that you guys are going to be able to see. So let's post it up here. This tripod from Jolene has been awesome. So I think you can see the target. Yeah, you can see the target. So I'm standing 5 yards from the target. And we're going to try and get this. I've never thrown this knife. It goes like that. Goes like that. All right, so 5 yard throw. Let's take a walk. Let's check it out. How's that? How's that? Oh, it's in there good too. So it actually left the hand really nice. So in my opinion, it's a better thrower in the hand than it is a chopper. Everything held on tight. There's no loosening anywhere. There's no separation in the scales, or the brass areas, the ends. So I don't know, guys. $10 at Walmart, and in my opinion, I think for 10 bucks you can't go wrong. Would I spend 25 on this? Probably not. 15 all day long, maybe $20. This would be a $20 knife. But for it was like $9.57, I think it was, at Walmart. And you have a knife for $9.50 that can actually work. So, you know, what's left on that? The knife performs. It's not great, but it performs. And that's pretty much all I wanted out of it. It's all I could ask of it. So that's it. Definitely a good spent $10. This thing will be a little user, especially around the yard on stuff, on like baton and kindling, this is the kind of edge that I wouldn't mind just using over and over again for that. So not too shabby. I'm Donnie B all day. It says so on my hat. Until next knife.